All right, YouTube. This Detroit's HPTV coming to you out of Detroit. Look, we're gonna get on a serious topic again today. And I usually don't try to critique uh the sister podcasters because if you a lot of times you criticize them, they say you're sexist or you're woman hater or you're manosphere and you're red pill or whatever they call you because they don't want to be criticized or held accountable. But if you follow my channel, you'll know most of the time I'm in it to it with manosphere guys and stuff like that because I don't like gender politics. But I'm finna criticize this sister because this is what's wrong with the black community. She's finna demonstrate what's wrong with the black community for real on a political level. And let me quantify what I'm finna say. You know what I mean? When I went to college, my major was political science. So we talking politics today. But I want you to see and you listen to what and I'm gonna do several reaction videos. I'm gonna do one to Anton Daniels because he's speaking on the migrants, and I'm gonna do another one to Red Supreme because this foolishness is getting dangerous. And I'm gonna show you how the foolishness is getting dangerous. If you watch this video to the end, by the time it's through, you'll see exactly what I mean about how dangerous our society is becoming. This lady here is called um, Politics by Tabitha. And I want you to listen to how authoritative she speaks. But if you listen to the content of her information and what she's actually saying, it's very dangerous because she's ill informed. And I'm going to show you why. This is for fair usage under 1976 copyright for commentary educational purposes. Check it out.
Testing, testing. Hi, I'm Politics by Tabitha, and here are some of the reasons why I will be voting for Joe Biden. Reason number one as to why I will be voting for Joe Biden and against Donald Trump and the Republicans is because Donald Trump has.
I'm going to I'm going to assume that she's a foundational black American, that she's a black woman. Her whole diatribe is going to be she's not going to vote. She's voting for Biden for no other reason than how she feel about Donald Trump. The issues that she say that she supports with the Biden administration are all policies and things that threaten the very survival of the black community. And I told you before, it's a lot of women that will sell their whole community out. They'll sell their husbands, their sons, their children's future out just to be close to Caucasians in power in that Democratic party. They're really being used as tools. Listen to what she breaks down as her reason as a black woman or why she wants to vote for Biden. Listen to her.
Made it clear that he plans to have mass deportation and he will reinstitute a Muslim ban as well as tariffs on all imports. Currently, based on a quick Google search, there is an estimated 3 to 4 million Muslims currently living in the United States. Steve Bannon, one of Donald Trump's most trusted advisors, has publicly stated that they will be deporting 10 million immigrants that are currently living in the United States.
This device will save your life, and I think that every home should have one of these. Not only every home, but every school, every restaurant, every nursing home. Like, this should literally be available to everyone everywhere. And it's a choking rescue device that a person can even use on themselves, which is great for people that are living alone or maybe.
In addition to 3 to 4 million.
Now let me stop right here and interject. I want you to watch this video to the end when I start showing you the different crimes that these so-called migrants are committing in our community. They dumping them in Chicago. They dumping them in New York. They dumping in the places where black people is. Why they not dumping them in the suburbs where they have more resources to take care of them? See, she's saying that she's saying he's going to deport migrants. The only way he can deport you is if you are an illegal immigrant. So that means you got into this country by breaking the law. That don't sound like a black people's issue. It doesn't. Because black people want these migrants out of their neighborhoods. If you go on the internet, you can see where these migrants is getting into it with black people. They joining gangs. They're committing crimes on each other and in the community. I'm going to show you where one migrant actually raped, without the G, a 10-year-old and had to plead guilty. See, you're not knowing what's really going on with the migrants because it's just like all the time. They got you so focused on the wrong thing that you really coming out and you voting and speaking against your own best interests. It comes off intelligent. Oh, Donald Trump, he's going to deport migrants. He's supposed to. He should. He's banning Muslims coming in. He's banning the ones that's coming over here illegally because there's plenty of Muslims here that are black that ain't even thinking about that. He's deporting people who came into the country illegal. And I have no problem with it because these people are coming here to really run over us, replace us, be cheap labor for the Democratic Party, and eventually be their new voting bloc because they're going to be through with black women, period, because they're no longer going to be able to bring the vote in. Because even if some black women ain't even voting for Biden, black men definitely not. So their usefulness is finna run out. But listen to her reasons, and you're gonna see what's the problem in the black community. Ain't none of her reasons got nothing to do with black people. She's really talking about voting against our own interests. Shout out to her, y'all. Go watch her channel if y'all want to.
In Muslims currently living in the United States, there's an estimated 10.7 million Mexicans living in the United States. Donald Trump and the Republican base has continuous.
Who else don't got no problem with 10 million migrants dumped into the communities of black people who already have strained resources and already have home issues and homelessness and poverty? Who else doesn't have a problem with 10 million migrants in our community? Black people, we wouldn't have a problem with it if they put them in the burbs and they put them in white people neighborhood and let white people take care of them with their resources, but that's not what they're doing. So let's listen to her some more. Ridiculous.
Attacked Muslims and Mexicans in this country.
This black woman ain't gonna never say nothing that benefits black people, especially a black man. The reason I told you that they love the Democratic Party because the Democratic Party promised them social elevation above the black man in the black community. They know they're not gonna never be equal to the Caucasian woman, and they're not gonna never be equal to the Caucasian man that run this country, that took it from the Indians, that's over there fighting all kind of wars. You think they're gonna let women who think like this really be in power? She don't realize her whole argument is about how he plans on dealing with the illegal immigration that's messing up our community. And if you think it ain't, keep watching.
And being that Steve Bannon has publicly stated that they plan to deport 10 million immigrants, you can bet your bottom dollar that Muslims and Mexicans will be high in that number. I will be voting against Donald Trump and for Joe Biden to stop that from happening. I also will be voting against Donald Trump and for Joe Biden in hopes to stop the attacks against the LGBTQIA plus community. Donald Trump and the Republicans have relentlessly attacked members of this community, more specifically members of the trans community. They have stripped the LGBTQ community of certain rights and are continuously trying to strip them of their humanity and their dignity. And
We gotta stop here. We gotta stop here, YouTube, because everything she said is a damn lie. The LGBTQ community got their protective bills, just like the Asians. She's making this up. I don't know if it's for clicks and views, but they have more rights than the average black person. And the party ain't got them under attack. This is all made up. Still, she's not gonna say one thing that actually benefits black people. Everything she's saying, she's voting against black people's interests. So I don't know if it's for clicks and views or she got some type of political thing she wants to pursue with the Democratic Party. But listen to everything she said. She's voting against our interests. Ask the black people in Chicago, do they want the migrants out of there? Ask the people in New York that's protesting, do they want the migrants gone? So here she comes on and she says she wants the migrants to stay. Why? Because they don't live on her block? I bet they live nowhere near her. I bet she ain't even met one. It's terrible.
having a brother that is a part of this community, it lights fire underneath me to do what I can do to make sure that he is protected. Third, I will be voting against Donald Trump and Republicans and for Joe Biden and the Democrats because Republicans have stated over and over and over again their intent to completely gut Social Security and Medicare. After a quick Google search, I learned that there were about 66 million Americans who were collecting in 2022 Social Security benefits. 54 million of those are ages 65 and over who are collecting Social Security and Medicare. And Republicans and Donald Trump want to cut that program. Social Security and Medicare provides our seniors, the elderly, with the funds needed to pay rent, to buy groceries, to pay for their prescriptions, to have a
Here she go again. She being disingenuous. I don't know if she a senior, but I'm a senior. And what they intend to do is revamp it because the way it works now, it keeps elderly people in poverty. What kind of life is the only thing you got enough money for is to buy a prescription because you can go to the pharmacy and you can get a copay. And then you live on a fixed income. Man, you if you old enough to remember good times like me, got a lot of older people eating cat food and dog food because they don't have enough to really shop for groceries. That's why they're trying to revamp it because it doesn't work in the best interest of the people. And I really don't like to do reactions to these females because then they're gonna say I'm being misogynist or I don't know, I'm some type of woman hater or whatever. Like I don't have two grandmas or mama, sisters and daughters, you know what I mean, that I care about, you know. I even got family that's living with the threat of migrants, the kids being scared to go back and forth to school because they got all these strange migrants that don't even speak the language walking through their communities. And I thought long and hard about even responding to her because she sit there like she's so informed and everything she's saying is she's voting against the interests of black people, for no other reason that she don't like the Republicans. You know what I mean? And the problem with that type of thinking is Caucasian people are going to be Caucasian people. They're going to always look out for their best interests. Just like black people should look out for their best interests. So we're going to go back to her saying there are 10 million illegal immigrants in our communities. They're not in the suburbs or where white people live. They're in our communities. We want them out. Send them back somewhere where they supposed to be. Or you know what I mean? This ain't rocket science. They finna outnumber us in our own community. Then they have loyalty to us. I mean, they have no loyalty to us, but have loyalty to themselves and to other Hispanic. Come on, this is a black woman. Listen to her talk about what her reasons are, and she looking so still like she got some good reasons.
Small quality of life. Republicans and Donald Trump like to label Social Security and Medicare as entitlements. No, these are not entitlements. These are programs that people paid into for the majority of their working lives. There are elderly individuals all across the United States, like my mother, who look towards their monthly checks from the government so that they can live in these United States. And the Republicans and Donald Trump.
And what she don't even understand is the reason they revamping it because they know that elderly people and senior citizens cannot live a prosperous retirement based on the condition that Social Security and Medicaid is in right now. She said her mama got to wait month to month just to live. That ain't even living.
Want to cruelly cut that benefit. Reason number 4 that I will be voting against Donald Trump and Republicans and for Joe Biden and the Democrats is because the Republicans plan to completely gut public education. If you're tuned in to what's going on,
Another lie. I looked at the reason why they was going against those books that they said was attached to critical race theory. No, it was other books in there that they felt were inappropriate to be in the school system that was attached to the books. And they wanted to give parents an opportunity to decide if they wanted books about dildos and and grape on kids in a book. When I was a kid, I never in my life went to school and was able to read a book about dildos and um, anal grape and different type of things. You know what I mean? So they trying to say, oh, they don't want black people to have history. Black people need to teach their own kids their history in their house. This remind me of a debate we had in in college where they was talking about they wanted to, Brown versus Board of Education. We did a debate on that. Why do certain black people want somebody else to raise their kids? Why do you want somebody to raise their kids? If I had young kids still going to school, I wouldn't want them to teach them no history. Let them learn math and science and everything else I teach them is about my culture from me. Take responsibility. And what you're saying is not true. They're not trying to gut the public school system because where will their kids go? Listen to every reason that she makes. It's crazy. And she's saying, and the thing that kills me, she's saying like she's saying some intelligent stuff. I'm I don't want them migrants sent home. Everybody else do. Everybody else want them gone. Every other black person in Chicago, New York, where they dumping them, they want them gone. She still ain't gave me no reason yet. She still ain't made a reason yet. She just
on
her
politically,
talking point's
you
not even
see
good.
that they have already started to do that with book bannings. With banning AP African American history. They say that African American history adds no value, no educational value to a student. And they don't plan to stop there. Republicans and Donald Trump elevate ignorance and lies and misinformation over education and facts. For years, Republicans have said to Black people, get an education. You want to advance in this country, you want to be successful in this country, get an education. And so Black people did. They took out loans. Communities came together to pay for students to be.
She has no understanding. She need to read the African American history book so she can read about Booker T. Washington and W. Du Bois. Du Bois was the one that pushed Black people toward education as a grassroots movement in the Black community. Booker T pushed trades, farming, and agriculture. Our decisions to go into education and to go into trade schools had no origin in the Republican Party. Trust and believe that. Because only a few years before Booker T and Du Bois, the Democratic Party is the party of the plantation. They were the slave masters. They wasn't a party of Lincoln. That's why these Negroes can't get off the plantation. That's why they love massa. You know what I mean? You ever remember them, when they just show you roots and you just look at Fiddler? Where we gonna go? We ain't got no better massa than this. You must be crazy, Guinea man. What we look like being free? What we gonna do with freedom, Guinea man? We ain't gonna get no massa better than this one. That's all she's saying. Bonafide mammy, allegedly.
Be able to continue their education. They were able to get grants.
I'm done with her. Shout out to her. Go to her channel if you want to. I'm gonna see what Anton Daniels got to say about it. I'm done with this one. This one here, typical. Typical. But it's a market for it, obviously. Let's see what Anton's saying around here. Shout out to Anton Daniels of Detroit. I'm about to use your clip, man, because you did something today. I have to agree. I don't usually agree with you, you know that. But we're in agreement on a lot. I done found out we agree on more things than we disagree. So I'm finna use your clip. For fair usage though. Anton finna give us another story.
You see Republican.
Yeah, we on some politics today.
Oh, she teething. Bring.
You can see in this video several men and a
Was out of this situation, but Chicago is tired, and New York. Chicago and New York, it was a migrant stabbing over in New York. Chicago, they delegates over there are saying, hey, listen, we thinking about withdrawing from becoming a migrant city, and we just gonna leave New York by itself. Check it out.
a police helicopter overhead after a fight outside the migrant shelter on Randall's Island. Police say around 3:30 Thursday afternoon, a 24-year-old man was stabbed in the neck and rushed to Harlem Hospital. Police say 18 people, including the suspected stabber, were taken into custody. You can see in this video several men and a.
Can we all give a round of applause for the migrants that's out here doing crime and getting into gang wars inside of the migrant shelter? I just want to make sure that I acknowledge them. Oh, bring her here. Bring me the baby. She can walk. Come, my child. Let me see her. I ain't seen her in so long. No, bring me the baby. Bring me baby. Oh, you want her? Yeah, let me see it. Oh, she don't want to see you, Jazz. Aaron, did you make her spoiled? No, she teething. Oh, she teething. Aww. Okay, here, just bring it. Come here, bring it here. Let me see you. Why you crying? Why you crying, little girl? Talk to the people. Look at yourself. Look at yourself on the screen. Look at yourself. Look at that.
Get past the baby. You cute baby though. We on another mission.
A woman being taken away in handcuffs. It's the second stabbing at this facility in less than 2 weeks. On January 6th, a 24-year-old man was stabbed to death on the food line inside the shelter. Most migrants returning to the shelter Thursday night hadn't heard of this latest stabbing. Mamadou Diallo coming back from an English class. Somebody was stabbed.
No.
Today, yes.
Today?
Yes.
The from Africa?
Police have not released any personal.
Wait a minute. This dude can't even speak English. He just got back from an English class. Y'all stop fawning over my mama. My mama is like 70 years old. That's my mother. She's gorgeous and she's like 70 years old. Leave my mama alone. Y'all leave my mama alone.
Details about the migrant who was stabbed after last week.
Eric Gross, co-founder of the Tech Academy here. We are an online school that offers an affordable and self-paced
deadly stabbing. The mayor had pledged to step up security at the shelters.
The team was already looking at, bringing metal detectors to the shelters, and that is a part of our goal, public safety. We're going to utilize visual technology. We're going to put cameras in many of the sites and locations.
And I did check with the mayor's office. I'm told that right now there are no metal detectors here at this shelter, but there are cameras, and they are in the process of installing more cameras. This is also one of the shelters that does not have a curfew, although, again, this stabbing happened in the afternoon. And again, what we've learned just a few minutes ago from a source is that the victim in this case is a security guard here at the shelter.
So, stabbings, fights, arrests, all of this is happening at the migrant shelter. Stabbings, fights, arrests, all while it's snowing. They getting into scraps, they beefing with each other. And now it's happening on American soil, right in the heart of the city at New York. Right in the heart of the city in New York. And they ain't even tripping about it. If you seen the way that they was getting arrested, they was just walking to the truck without even having no problem. They was slow motion.
The migrant shelter on Randall's Island. Police say around 3:30 Thursday afternoon, a 24-year-old man was stabbed in the neck and rushed to Harlem Hospital. Including the suspected stabber were taken into custody. You can see in this video several men and a woman being taken away in handcuffs. It's the second stabbing at this facility in less.
Look, he got his little Dora the Explorer backpack. He having a good time. Got the Dora the Explorer backpack and having a good time. And now they just getting arrested. What do you charge them with? What do you want to fingerprint them? Do you deport them? Do you send them back to where they came from? Foolishness. Meanwhile, over in Chicago,
Illinois lawmakers clash over the state's ever-changing migrant situation.
At the same time, Chicago officials say they are pausing efforts to open additional shelters. Casey Cron is live in Studio 32 with the latest. Casey.
Tia and John, to stay within the new arrivals budget, the mayor's office says it is focusing on out-migration, creating space in the city's 28 shelters that already exist, and prioritizing families and migrants with disabilities. As the city shifts its focus to resettlement, officials are turning to the state to establish more shelters. Meanwhile, some Republican lawmakers are sharing what they saw during a recent visit to the border.
In 1 week last summer, 57 bodies were found on this farm.
So now the Illinois The state lawmakers. The state lawmakers are now starting to pay attention what's happening to the now they want to take a trip over to the border. See, you flood them with enough of what it is that they say that they support, and then you make them come over and this remind me of the drug crisis. It reminded me of the drug crisis. Real talk. You know why? Because nobody cared about what was happening when they was flooding communities with drugs as long as it stayed centralized in one specific area. See, what they didn't anticipate was the fact that they was going to now flood all of the communities with drugs. And so what happens to me happens to you. What affects me affects you. And so now the drug crisis is now going to be an opioid crisis, and it's going to be a fentanyl crisis, and it's going to be a methamphetamine crisis, and then it's going to spread from the streets of Detroit and Philadelphia and New York and all of the disenfranchised, as they like to call them, communities. And now it's going to be on your doorstep. And now they're going to call for making sure that we attack big pharma and where's the drugs coming from, and make sure that you get that up out of there. And we need to close off our borders. No, we should have all been in solidarity and seeing things in the same way from the very beginning. But now the Illinois governors and the state representatives want to go over there to the border and they say,
Now I want you to think about the black woman. I think her name is Tabitha. She said there so calmly, I'm going to stand up for the migrants. I don't like this, what he doing with this community, whatever. No solidarity to the black community at all. Her solidarity is to the Democratic Party because they offer incentive. They incentivize the black people who will vote against the interests of the black community. So that's why I said I don't know if she's just saying that for clicks and views, trying to build her channel up or whatever. But look at what's really going on after what she said. That's why I showed you, Anton. I'm gonna show you another where they showing you the news. You know what I'm saying? You see how she had the little clips or whatever and was trying to narrate that. This is what's really going on, though. Let's continue.
you know what? It's bad down there. It's been bad down there. It ain't nothing changed. Texas has been dealing with this for a long time now. They've been on the front lines having to allocate a lot of money over into the budget to fight for what's going on as far as these migrants coming over here illegally, but we want to give them asylum, even though it doesn't apply to that specific one. And we handed off the most secure border, even though, and this is what the guy yesterday said that worked for all 6 administrations before Biden. And he said, listen, Trump administration handed Biden the most secure border that we've ever had in history, even though they fought him at every twist and turn on funding and in building more secure walls to make sure that it would be more difficult and to add more border agents and the technology.
I know the guy you're talking about, and he used to work for the government. He says the only reason they opening the borders like that is by design. It's not accident. They know these are not people seeking asylum. These are people coming over here because they promised them free stuff. If they so productive, why they not building up their own country? If they got so many skills and they so productive, why they can't build up their own country? And then they told you they found out that Venezuela had emptied their prisons and dumped people from their insane asylums on the border, just like when Fidel Castro did back in the early '80s when he sent them all to Cuba from prison. That's what the movie Scarface was about.
Needed. And now we allocate monies from cities and they begging Biden from the federal government because you said and you stood back on the thing that you turned against when you said it when you was running for the 2008 vice presidential campaign, that you said that we needed to secure our borders. And then when Trump was in office, you said we're not going to build another piece of border wall. No, nobody want to be a sanctuary city no more. Don't nobody want no more buses. They don't want no more planes, trains, and automobiles all of a sudden. Now everybody is trying to figure out, hey, listen, I don't know if this is the best course of action. Texas has been dealing with this for the longest period of time in history. Now all of a sudden, Mike Johnson over there in Denver want to buy them a ticket over there to Chicago. Chicago is saying, hey, wait a minute, hold on. We don't really want sanctuary status no more. We did our fair share. Maybe we just going to leave New York by itself. And then Eric Adams is out there on the island because he already got charges against them, and the federal investigators is all up his.
All right, shout out to Anton for this clip. I'm cutting his short because I want to show you one more to show you what's really going on, and to show you how people get out here and they use misinformation. You got to really ask yourself, like, this is, you got to be disingenuous to even like this story. Let me show you. Red pill. Okay, this one is Ohio illegal immigrant essay, 10-year-old child. You know what essay stands for?
We really can't even get nothing done.
Oh, his video.
Not on the level.
Saying, hey, this is what happened at the beginning of the 1900s. Why don't we look back and make it successful again?
And like I mentioned before, to make the distinction, you're welcoming legal immigrants. You're also going to have some illegal immigration issues here as well. And what are you?
Listen, homie, that's for the most part. For every legal immigrant, you're gonna have 20 illegal immigrants. So who's really gonna receive the benefits? The people who come here illegally, and that's gonna create a whole nother problem.
Doing to try to combat that? And as far as your proper identification, things along those lines, is that something you're incorporating here?
Well, we're looking into a citizen ID concept that other cities have done just so people can get bank accounts. Again, here in Dayton, we really don't have a major illegal immigrant problem. And
could you see a program? Could you see a program?
Basically, he's trying to give programs to illegals, which will open the floodgate for millions of illegals to come to Ohio. And it'll end up just like Chicago. Millions of illegal immigrants coming from Mexico. Ohio's next. I told you guys, man, I was going to be talking about Ohio next. It's on the list. I got a gang of stories and a gang of clips that I'm going to show y'all. Let's get it. Hit the like button. We need you brothers and sisters to share this. For real.
Program like this potentially leading to that. And I think that's probably what has some people a little bit up in arms, correct?
No. The whole thing is geared towards citizenship. I mean, we want to facilitate success and citizenship with anyone, whether they're here legally or illegally. And I mean, the federal laws still apply here in Dayton.
Right. Mayor, thank you very much for taking the time. We wish you the best. And again, good talking with you.
See, they're only concerned about money. Their only concern is to get more wealthy. So, and guess what? Now, I want to go to this next clip, man. And what we looking like on those likes, bro? We're moving kind of slow this morning on those likes, but get them up. The clip is crazy, man. Once you hear what happened, you're going to be like, damn. He said, somebody in the comments said, the Rasa ain't talking about this. Hell no, the La Rasa ain't going to talk about this. They're going to sweep this shit underneath the rug. But it's up to me. That's why I'm showing this to y'all, to let y'all know what's going on. To show y'all how open borders hurt the country. It hurts your community. From state to state, from city to city. Shout out to the fam up in here. Now I got another clip that I'm gonna let y'all you guys hear, man. It's terrible. Once you hear what really happened to this young girl, and I believe it was Columbus, Ohio, to be exact, my brother. Columbus, Ohio, my brother. Check this out.
Life in prison with the...
By the request of the family, this court will be sentencing without comment. And everyone knows how hard that's going to be, because the court considers this the worst of the events.
The judge sends a strong message during the sentencing of a man who made national headlines for raping and impregnating a child. Gerson Fuentes changed his plea today and will now serve life in prison with the possibility of parole after 25 years.
How could he have the possibility of parole? See, this is what I'm talking about, bro. Now, to all of my Ohio people, I believe this happened in Columbus, Ohio. He did this to a 10-year-old girl, this illegal immigrant. Ain't that a bitch?
And impregnating a child.
Considers this the worst of the offense.
The judge sends a strong message during the sentencing of a man who made national headlines for raping and impregnating a child. Herson Fuentes changed his plea today and will now serve life in prison with the possibility of parole after 25 years.
This case shocking the nation last year after the girl ended up traveling to Indiana to get an abortion following the Supreme Court's reversal of Roe versus Wade.
Investigator Haley Nelson's been following the case from the start and was in the court today. She joins us now live from the courthouse with more on the sentencing. Haley?
Stacia, a deal was reached in this case, avoiding the need for a trial. Fuentes will serve life in prison with the possibility of parole in 25 years. Today in the courtroom, the judge sent a very direct message, and we did see multiple law enforcers show up inside to be on standby, so to speak.
This court will be sentencing without comment. And everyone knows how hard that's going to be because the court considers this.
Let me tell you guys, this is Franklin County, so this is Columbus area. Shout out to Virgil, man. He know about that now. I believe he's barely getting sentenced for this shit, man. And like I said, there's plenty of cases where people like this have done sick things to children.
Shout out to Red Supreme TV1. Listen. Put this all in context. You have people, so-called black people, advocating for policies that go against the general aspirations of the black community. And they say it like this, like it's so intelligent. But they're not telling you what these migrants is doing and who they really are. Think about it, who they really are. They at the shelters stabbing each other. They're getting into it with black people all through Chicago. And if her estimation of 10 million migrants, 10 million so far, I'm going to challenge all y'all to Google and see how many actual black Americans, foundational black Americans it is. For them to push 10 million people into our communities. I want to end on that note. Think about it. Think about how many of us it really is. Why they done push 10 million up in here under our nose. And she's talking about, I'm not going to vote for Trump because he's going to send them home. Or I'm not going to vote for any Republican because he's going to send them home. I'm going to keep voting for Biden and the Democrats because they give us nothing. They give us nothing. And even they so-called feminism that they offer to black women as bait is an illusion. All you got to do is look at Joy Reid, Angela Rye, Tiffany Cross. You know what I mean? All the ones that as soon as they done with you, they through. They through with you. If y'all don't think they finna throw Fannie Willis under the bus, the Democrats is. You seeing none of them saying nothing. You ain't seeing no Democratic news outlets like CNN coming to her rescue. Fox News is dragging her. Because in her mind, the illusion of inclusion seems doable with her black girl magic. Shout out to the people whose content I used. Sound out of Detroit. Keep your head on the swivel. Stay woke with your eyes open. Look, what does this look like for our children, our grandchildren? Maybe 5 years from now, when they being overran in the school system, to when their communities is more Spanish speaking than English speaking. When they're dealing with gangs like MS-13. And Anton was right. The drug game is definitely gonna be there. They're gonna be the plug. They got direct connection to the cartel. You think the cartel not sending their people over here? You don't even know how much work just came through with these migrants. How many of them had bags of fentanyl, keistered, and heroin keistered? You know what I mean? Come on, black people. Saying to y'all at Detroit, keep your head on a swivel. Like, share, and subscribe. Peace.